how do you prospect for real estate? You gotta go canvassing, door knocking. Because back then, which is very different jungle than it is today, there were no phone numbers. I said, isn't there phone numbers? Can't I just call people? And in commercial real estate, most of these assets are owned by LLCs, corporations, trusts. And a lot of people don't know this today, that there's resources that can give you those phone numbers. I'll just plug it in right now. There's a company called Reonomy.com that I use that gives amazing phone numbers and great property analytical information for commercial property nationwide. But that didn't exist back then. So I would sit with the guy and he'd say, go prospecting. So I would print a plot map. I don't know if you know what that is. A plot map is it looks like a domino-sized map. It's a black and white with shapes, polygons of a city block. And it would tell you the parcel number on each one, and it would give you a visualization of the block you're walking. And I would walk the block, and I would go and give a business card, get a business card, because I'd had the gatekeeper, the secretaries in these businesses. It wasn't like you're walking into someone's home and talking to a homeowner. You're talking to a guy that's in the garment business or in the electronic business or in the closeout, whatever business, and you're not going to get into that office. There's like 50 people that stop you before you get into that warehouse. But if you do, and if I ever did, amazing, most people would just say, just give me your card, I take a card, and then I would have that to follow up with. So I ended up stapling these cards to these little maps, highlighting them, and I made this book. After a few months, I had a bunch of leads, right, that I had accumulated. And then one day I pitched the broker, my broker at the time, his name was Mike as well. And I said to him, dude, why don't we offer this service like it doesn't exist to all brokers? We can make a killing, like making a subscription-based business. Now, mind you, this was 2004 or 5, and Google had just invented 2 years later, 3 years later, these silhouettes. Now that we take for granted, if you zoom in into Google, you can see these boundary lines of the lots on Google Maps. That didn't exist back then. So it was like satellite imagery was just popping up a couple of years into it. So he was like, that's a good idea, yeah. He didn't really give a shit. The guy was making millions of dollars. But he said, listen, I'll give you a challenge. How about you take the zip code we're situated in right now and double down. Take all the information, go canvassing, and close your first deal and prove to me that you can make money as a broker prospecting with this information. And so in 90 days, I scraped every single plot of land, everything. It's like 2,500 pieces, and to a spreadsheet. And I had made this perfectly. I did the reverse search engineer every day. I would spend 7-8 hours a day searching for numbers and who the true identities of the owners were. And then the next day I would just dial everybody. Eventually I got my first lead.